Yeah, you self-marketed, you self-publicized,
Yeah.
and I'd love to know how your publishing journey was and any challenges that came your way, because I'm sure people are definitely going to be interested in learning
The
how
entire
did you get your
thing.
first, yeah, how did you get your first book published and like how can they get their book published?
So the entire thing was and still is a challenge. I had to go through a company called Ingram Sparks. So Ingram Sparks works with those that want to self-publish their books. The unfortunate part with working with a printing company that will help you self-publish your book is that brick and mortar stores will not order your book unless you are published through a publishing house or have a publishing agent or agency backing you. So my book will not be found in Barnes and Nobles. And unfortunately, because I don't own the CPU that's on the back of my book, it's a borrow code from Ingram Sparks. So my book can't be ordered on Amazon via Kindle or physically. So I have to create this entire page through Ingram to order my book, or people can order it through me. Or the best thing I tell people is just order it from your local mom and pop bookshop because one, I love mom and pop bookshops. They're great. Know the people there, know the people that go there, get to know the community, talk to the people there and figure things out because maybe down the line, if you come out with a book, they're going to be the source that you're going to want to go to get your book out there for the first folks that have known you. You'll get a kickback. It's not much, but you'll get a kickback of what they purchase from the company. But yeah, it's just been a lot of learning and a lot of challenges to say the least. Having to learn different softwares, layouts, using fonts, resizing photos, shifting the alignment on the Word document. I even know like what colored paper I want to use and weighted paper I want to use. Like all of this plays a huge role because the heavier the paper, the more it's going to cost. The lighter the paper, the less it will cost. But at the same time, you want to find a middle ground because if you're using lighter paper, the book will get damaged easier. If you use heavier paper, it won't get as damaged, but it's not going to feel right. Like the one thing I've heard from many people that have held my book is, oh, it feels nice. It feels good. That was just a freak accident on my end, to be honest, because I don't know anything about weighted paper and what's the difference between gray paper, white paper. And it's just, you have to learn how to pick and choose. So, yeah, there's been a lot of challenges and there's still a lot more because now I'm looking at, okay, I'm looking at publishing houses. I'm reaching out to agencies. I'm reaching out to agents. And unfortunately, out here in the Bay Area, there's not many agencies or agents. Publishing houses, that's also a different story because you have to figure out which publishing houses you're going to go with because some may have worked with authors that only work on fiction stories. Well, if you're a nonfiction writer, they're not going to pick you up. If you're a poet, they won't pick you up. But then if you want to go to a place where they pick up poets, well, they also want to know, well, what else do you work on? Do you work on fiction, nonfiction? Because if you only work on strictly poetry, well, they might not pick you up because they want someone that is well rounded. So it's a matter of like reading into these companies, getting to know them, and then reaching out to them. Thankfully for me, I've had two really great people that are mentors to me that have been helping me out along the way. And one of them is helping me with getting connected out there in Los Angeles so I can meet up sometime later this year or early next year via Zoom with a couple of folks that lead an all Latino based book festival. And my dream is to hopefully get into that, meet some of the agents and the agencies out there, and maybe sign a contract. Because once that happens, yes, you sign a contract, you're not getting the full profit, but at least you're not having to spend so much time on what do I need to do to make sure this book gets put out. It's just a matter of, oh, my book's done, and then submitting it. And then maybe having friends like I do, like Noel and Javier, like they're the friends that help me with editing my book. So maybe they'll help me out again. I can kick some cash their way. Or maybe the agency has editors that can review it and contact me. So there's all these things that then come into play when you're trying to figure out agents and agencies and publishing houses. But right now, it's still, how else am I going to get my book out there? Like, I've had a couple people buy it. I've had a couple people that saw my Instagram post, my Facebook post, have come out to the pop-ups, but also there's been some failed pop-ups where transactions didn't go through for some reason, or transaction did go through, but then there was abrupt changes. And those ones, I won't talk about the people or the places, but I will say that it's frustrating when you pay a large 3-digit amount for a location just to be told that you're being relocated and you're being given less than to work with.
What is something that you wish someone had told you that you feel would have been really helpful for you, and something that you would like to tell anybody else that wants to, step into your shoes?
Honestly, I've thought about this and I honestly wouldn't change anything just because it's a learning experience that teaches me the ins and outs of self-publishing,
Mm.
but it's also taught me how the inner workings of publishing houses and agents and agencies work. Because some of these publishing houses, you can reach out to them and you won't hear back. And some of them, you can reach out to them, but then you start reading and doing informative deep dives into them and seeing, oh, maybe they're not the people I want to work with, or maybe you're not the person they want to work with because of whatever reasons. I would, however, have enjoyed a manual on how to go through the Ingram Sparks software. I think that's one thing. Like if you're going through a printing house that's going to help you self-publish your book, they should have user-friendly interfaces and websites, because I can't even express to you how many times I wanted to rip the hair from my beard out because I think I submitted 8 times my book into the printing, and it does this whole weird kickback saying that there's an issue, and you're thinking, oh, it's a virus, it's this, it's that, you're doing everything. It's just something wasn't sized properly. Or in my case, the document wasn't saved in a format that they want you to save it. And it's just, it can become the littlest thing, and you're just sitting there thinking, really? It's that you're telling me why the document's invalid? And then you do this deep sigh of relief, retype it, save it, and then it finally goes through, but you're still holding your breath because there's that 24-hour turnaround that could possibly come back and say, hey, it's still not going through. It's invalid. But thankfully, after a month of fixing and refixing and retyping, and it went through. It went through.
So, I mean, moral of the story, do your due diligence, research, and really, try and figure out everything about the publishing industry yourself first, so you don't get, I guess, screwed over.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Are there themes that you've noticed that you keep coming back to in your writing? Maybe you might touch upon again in your next writing piece, or the things that you have already published. Are there like some repeated themes that you've noticed?
So when it comes to, so I'll break it down. So for like my poetry, there's always the whole like love and pain and breakups, but there's also that of pushing back on family and culture references, me using Spanglish. Because I grew up speaking Spanish. Like, not a lot of people know, but I'm an ESL kid. Like, I grew up in a household where I only spoke Spanish and learning English, and English is my second language. So, Spanglish is always going to be something in my poetry. Sometimes it'll be like a solid English poem. Sometimes it'll be a mixture of English and Spanish. I have one poem that I kind of want to put out there in the next book that's going to be all Spanish. Still not sure yet, just because I'm still trying to figure out the different wording I want to use, because direct translation never really connects quite right when you translate from English to Spanish, but we'll see. But yeah, I mean, there's always the cultural references, there's always friendships, things that I've gone through in my personal personal life, sometimes just like little dreams and little nightmares that I've had that trigger me to write something. And then also current state of the government that will not stop at all. But yeah, with poetry, it's always going to be those. But when it comes to short fiction, like we were talking about earlier, I feel like taking a little bit of like my personal life or like personal things that have happened around me or that have been told to me by others and then mixing in a little bit of like that cultural essence or spirits or I love horror movies or like it's like ghost stuff or slasher stuff. Like I finished reading I finished rereading The Butcher and the Wren. Great book. I can't wait to get the second book here soon. That book is just amazing. And I can't wait for the second one. So I draw a little bit from like what I've read and I'm thinking, oh, that's something I would love to talk about, or that's something I would love to like expand on for my own story. And so yeah, it's always like stuff like that.
How do you deal with writer's block?
I walk away.
Simple,
I
easy answer. I
try.
just walk away.
Yeah. So the thing is, I try not to force anything at all because what I noticed in the past when I would write my old poems and then just force something, it sounded horrible. It wasn't me. It was just something that, oh, it sounds good for the moment. I don't like that. I would prefer to just walk away, take a brisk walk, come back and look at it, or if I'm writing it down in a journal, just start scribbling, just start drawing, and then something usually just pops in my head. Everyone has their own thing. I remember I took an English fictional course. I think it was intermediate. And our professor had us watch a video where there was a published author who did a YouTube video and she was talking about, oh, do these things to help you with your writer's block. And not for nothing, but I found it more annoying than helpful because she was having you write just random words and draw lines and circles. And I'm like, no, like, let me just scribble down random stuff. Let me draw. Let me go for a walk. That helps me. Everyone is different. You can't just have me sit in this classroom, watch this video, and listen to this published author that is telling us, oh, well, this is what I do. And if you do this, and it's like, no, sorry, that doesn't help me. That was one day that really infuriated me in class. I just sat there and I didn't participate because it was a college course and it was like 15 minutes of my time that I'm never going to get back. But for me, it's let me just go for a walk. Let me draw. Let me scribble random stuff. And then I'll come back and hopefully I'll have something. If not, okay, go on to the next thing and then come back to it later when I'm not thinking about it. And maybe I'll have something.
Everyone has their own process. It's different for every single person. After you became published, I know you talked about like you faced quite a bit of challenges, especially you're marketing yourself, and then there was also picking out, all the designs and everything. Besides that, was there anything that surprised you after, becoming a published author that you never in a million years thought that this was going to happen or this is something you would have to do, or you were expecting something to happen that didn't?
There was two things that came up. One was having former professor reach out and say, okay, your book's out and you're in time to submit it for the International Latino Book Award. And I was like, wait, isn't that the same one that we submitted the collection, the book that I told you about earlier that you mentioned? We submitted that book for the award and it won. And I was like, wait, what do you mean submit mine? She said, yeah, there's a poetry section. And she sent it to me, sent me all the paperwork and the form to fill out. And she said, do it. You still have 3 weeks. I read all the rules and regulations and I had to pack 5 copies of the book and pay a fee and I sent it out. I didn't even think twice. I never thought that would happen, that I was going to submit my book for the possibility of winning an award. We'll see. I still haven't heard back. I don't think I'm going to hear back until August or September, to be honest. But it's something that I never thought I would be doing with my book. Like, honestly, I was just like, oh, I came out with the book. I'm selling it. But then to hear, no, you should submit it for an award or for this contest or for that contest. And then all of a sudden, like, out the woodworks, all these contests are popping up like, oh, you're a poet. submit unpublished pieces to this website and this, and that. And so now it's just me looking and digging through all these websites for poetry submission contests. I'm submitting tomorrow 6 new pieces, and it's just mind-boggling to know like, oh, I'm submitting pieces for contests so I can win money to sustain my writing and pay for the things I need in order to be even more successful with my writing and my publication. Yeah, that was the first thing, just submitting my book for a contest to win an award. And the second thing, friends and family wanting free copies. It's so irritating. Like, you'll get a message from someone that you haven't heard from in years, and they're like, oh, can I get a copy? Like, I can't really afford it right now, though. Or they come up with a lame reason as to why they can't afford it, but they think they deserve it. And it's like, no, this is my hard work. Like, what makes you think that you deserve a free copy of something I put my heart and soul into? Like, it's just upsetting that you'll get people at the woodworks coming out
Mhm.
thinking they're that entitled of getting something for free or even asking for money.
My
Like,
goodness. Wow. People asked you for
yeah,
money?
yeah, because now they think, oh, you're a published writer and you should be
Oh,
making
okay.
all this
Yeah, yeah,
money.
yeah.
It's like,
That's not how that works. It's not how
no.
that works. So anybody who, wants to do any one of the number of things that you've done, whether writing poetry, publishing a book, doing open mic, having their own podcast, any sort of advice that you have for them on, what they could do or what they have to look forward to, or, ways that they could really help themselves.
Community's everything. Community is where you solidify yourself and you lock in. I can't express how much like my community, my city, and the cities around me and the folks there mean to me. I mean, just having all these establishments be so welcoming in letting me sell my book, having moments of like just sitting in the area and working on my book or coming in just to have a conversation because, I can't really buy this book today, or, oh, I want to put this book in order and I'll pick it up another day, or go into the record shop and just having casual conversation with everyone and, buying something here and there. And it's just everyone is so welcoming and you want to be as respectful as much as possible to those people and be thankful for those people because man, I can't tell you like how scared I was when it came to asking them like, hey, can I use your place of business for, my book release or my book release party? Because it's always going to be in the back of your head that you're going to get rejected. They're going to say, no, you can't, or no, because maybe you slipped up and said something wrong one time around them. That's why you want to be as respectful as you can to those in your community. I cannot express that enough. I mean, for example, and I'll give a great example. The owner of the coffee shop I used to do open mics at, Patty, such a great guy, such an amazing dude. And where did I think I saw him. I saw him at a tattoo shop, and my buddy was getting inked, and I saw him just laying there getting ink on his chest or his arm or something. And I was like, Patty? He was like, Jose, what's up, my man? How's it going? And the artist's like, you know Jose? He's like, psh, who doesn't know Jose? And it just put this smile on my face that he still remembers me as that young man that would come in and be like, hey, can I host an open mic? Or hey, can I do a fundraiser? Or it was never like, hey, I need to do this here. Or hey,
Mhm.
I always went in there with, can I ask you if it's okay if I do an open mic? And if so, what days work? Like, I never went in there expecting a solid yes or no. It was always, let me ask. Let me ask. I
Be
respect
humble.
those in the community. And
Yeah.
it's just something that really helped me grow, like from open mics to having people in the community push me to really work on my book. And it pushed me into a sense of, oh, I can do this. I know how to promote myself, promote my book, this, and that. And it's gotten me to where I'm at today. And I
Mhm.
mean, I still have, I think, another 2 or 3 pop-ups this year for my book. It's just so crazy to know like people were willing to not only help, but also people bought my book and they're like, hey, here's some extra cash for you. And I never expected that. But all the extra, I would say the tips that people gave me helped me buy a table just so I can do these pop ups. And it helped me buy a chair so I can sit down when doing these pop ups. So now when I'm driving to these locations, I can set up. I don't have to ask people like, oh, do you have a table I can borrow? Do you have a chair I can use so I can sit down? Like I don't have to do that. I have I have the necessities now. And it's just so great. I'm so grateful for all the people that really helped out. And
Mhm.
again, that's why it's back to community means so much.
So what's next for you? Another book, another podcast? What do you have coming
I'm
up?
I'm working on a second poetry book right now, and I'm also fixing up and fine tuning some of my old short fiction stories. So once
Oh.
the second poetry book comes out, I can put my full focus into my short fiction and hopefully have that come out as well.
Gosh. Oh, I'd love to have you back for like when you have that book out and we can talk about that book. That'd be
Yeah,
great.
definitely.
Okay, so I just want to remind everybody what your recent book's name is. In my words, you can say the Spanish.
En mis palabras.
Thank you so much. And you can get it from any independent mom and pop store, or you can get it from Jose's. Do you have a website that they could go on?
Just message me on Instagram and we can work something out.
Got it. What's your
So
Instagram?
it's at official underscore S1N underscore X. That's the number one. So official underscore S1N underscore X.
Fantastic. All right. So I just want to say thank you so much. This was such a great conversation. And really, I've known you for so long, but I never knew any of these things about you until like
It's all
just
good.
now. So this is amazing. And thank you so much for coming on. And I really hope to have you on again for your next book. Maybe I could have you on as a guest to do a movie
I'm
review.
so down. I have a app that I've been using to keep track of my movies and the reviews I write on them. I saw the review that you did for what was it? With John Cena and
Oh,
Idris
Heads of
Alba.
State. Heads of State.
Heads of
Yeah.
State. That was so good. That was such a funny movie.
Oh, thank you.
And kudos to you. You got Idris Alba to check out your review. I was like, oh my gosh, she's
Oh my
doing big
Oh
things.
my gosh. Like I just posted on my Instagram story, like, oh, it's such a good movie. And like, not gonna lie, like I swear I saw on the views, Idris Alba was one of the viewers of my Instagram
Nice.
story. And I was like, oh my gosh. I took a screenshot of yes. I
As you should.
yes. It was amazing. Yeah, well, thank you for watching my review video. And the
Of
movie
course,
is
of
really
course.
good.
Yeah,
For anybody who hasn't seen it, Heads of State on Amazon Prime. It is really good. Action, comedy, and heart. Thank you, and we will talk again soon.
yeah, for sure. Take care.
Thanks for joining me. Keep learning, keep growing, and don't be afraid to write your own story. And we'll see you next time on Coffee Break Convos for another conversation. And be sure to like and subscribe to be notified of new videos every week. See you next time.